As the good old saying goes, it never rains, but it pours. And believe me, we have had some downpours today. Considering this has been one of the warmest, driest summers on record in the UK, well, today the rains have come back. And usually what then happens is the rain doesn't stop. So this is probably now a sign that the seasons are changing and we are approaching autumn. But it has been a great summer. We can't complain. And if you just look behind me, this is my greenhouse, which has become very overgrown. So I'm going to take you inside and show you exactly where everything's up to, but also, more importantly, the big results are in. So at the start of this season, I decided to do an experiment. I wanted to grow my tomatoes two different ways. One set were grown in grow bags and the other set were grown in pots, just to see which ones actually grew best. So let's get inside and I'll show you which ones are the clear winner. Okay, as you can see, I have a lot of tomatoes. Look at all those. They're beautiful red cherry toms, and I'll be harvesting a load of those today. We've also got some nice larger ones, which are the money maker, but I have got so many tomatoes. But on the right-hand side, you can probably see these have been grown in grow bags. And on the left-hand side, these have all been grown in their own individual pots. Now, they're exactly the same variety of tomato. So where we've got the red cherry tom, we've got the equal red cherry tom on the other side. So both have grown well. I can't complain at the amount of tomatoes I've got, but there is, for me, one clear winner. Now, to begin with, and as you can see, these are actual tomato grow bags. So they are infused with all the nutrients and goodness that a tomato plant needs. But the ones in the pots I've been feeding regular. I've been feeding both of them, by the way. I gave them both equal feed. But to start off, the ones in grow bags took off to an almighty start. They were, in the first couple of weeks, by far the clear winner. But then the ones in the pots, they have caught up. Most of them are quite equal in size, but the ones that really have done the best have to be the grow bags. And I think it's just basically because you put one tomato plant in each of the holes. So there's 3 per bag. I've got 3 bags. There's actually 9 plants altogether. And as I say, they are infused with the perfect nutrients and goodness that a tomato plant needs. So they did catch up with one another, but look at the size of these. These these are actually going up and through the window, and they've still got more flowers on. I doubt they'll become tomatoes now, but they are much bigger. And if I go in here, you can see there is just tomatoes upon tomatoes. Everywhere I look, there's tomatoes. And yes, there is the same on the other side in the pots, but there isn't quite as many. There's lots, don't get me wrong, but there's not quite as many, and the plants themselves are not quite as bushy. And then one here, this is actually a money maker, and I thought it was blight, but I think it's just died. But it did still produce some tomatoes, but this one plant, I really should. I think I'm going to cut this out and try and remove it just to make sure it doesn't spread anywhere else, because I don't like the look of that one. So the clear winner is the grow bags. They're the ones that have grown the best. And I think next year I'll just do grow bags. Again, I'll do different varieties. So these are the red cherry tom. On the floor, we've got the tumbling tom, which really don't grow as tall, and they're better for hanging baskets, really, so they can all cascade out. In fact, look at the size of that bunch. That is beautiful. And then down here was the money maker, and you can tell because they are a lot bigger. But I personally think the red cherry toms have the most flavour to them. So I'm going to harvest a load of them now. In fact, that is some picture. That I do like that one. So I'll harvest them and take them home. But as I say, results are in. Grow bags have won. I'm just going to quickly take you outside because it's also been a bumper harvest for apples. This has easily been my best ever harvest of apples. Look at the amount. These are the Golden Delicious. And with this rain, these are really starting to swell up nicely now. I have already taken tons home, so we need to eat them before I go picking any more. But if you just bend them upwards slightly, if it comes off in your hand, you know it's ready. If it stays on, it's not. This might be a good example. So just push it up and there you go. It's literally just come off in my hand. But we are starting to get a few windfall. They're just falling off the tree. I'm going to leave them because I've got so many anyway that whatever wants to eat them, the birds, the worms, whatever, they can have them. But as far as that, that's a nice looking apple. As I say, this has been a great harvest or a great year for the Golden Delicious apples. In fact, that's a beauty. Let's just bend that one up. Does it come our way? No, not quite ready. Will this one come away? No. So I'll leave them on a bit longer. But also my Braeburns. Over here, these, again, it only takes a bit of rain and they swell up lovely. This is a smaller tree. Only went in a few years ago. But the actual apples themselves, there we go. Look at that. Barely even touched that one. It fell off. It's better that I get them rather than they fall on the floor. So there's another nice apple to take home. Nice little golden colour to that. So that's the Braeburn. So they have been another good success this year. This fig tree is all finished now. The only little ones left on it, they need to come off because they are never going to ripen. So you basically just take that away. They're rock hard. They're not going to ripen. They're just taking all the goodness and the nutrients out of the tree and the strength for next year. So I'm going to get rid of them because the new ones for next year, they haven't formed yet. They normally form over the winter. They'll be little tiny pea-shaped fruit, and then at least they'll become the figs of next year. But next to it here is another fig tree, and I think it's a slightly different variety because these figs, if you can see that, or here's one, they look a little bit different shape and they haven't ripened yet. So if we get a last bit of sunshine in the UK in the next few weeks, I think we're going to get some more figs again. Some big ones up there, so they should definitely ripen. Even down here, yeah, I think these are still going to ripen. I don't think this is the second crop. I think these are still going to come. So I'll keep you updated on how these figs do. If they are a later crop, that's great for me because it means I get the first crop off this tree and then the second crop. In fact, they're different coloured leaves. They're a lighter green and bigger leaf than these. These are a darker green. So I do think they're a different variety. You can see there's still lots of figs on there. So fingers crossed, and with any luck, I'll get a few more. And I might have to bag these up so the birds don't get them, because they'll see them before I do. Now, I'm asking for your opinions. Will these kiwis grow any bigger? They've stayed at this size now for too long. I've only got about 6 of them. In fact, should I try one? I think I will. There's one in here. That's the smallest one. Right, I'm going to try this one. Let's see what it's like. Okay, that took a little bit of pulling off, so maybe it wasn't ready to come off yet. But let's just bite into this and see what it's like. Okay, so it looks like a kiwi. It tastes like a kiwi, but I think I've picked it too early. So I think what's best, I'm going to leave these on for a bit longer. Got 5 more. So we'll leave them to see if they swell any bigger or indeed if they ripen any more. But this is the first year it's ever produced any fruit. So this could be just the first ones, and then next year they'll get bigger and bigger year on year. Got a few pears left. We've been eating lots of these, so that's a nice looking pear. Again, just bend it up like you would with the apple. In fact, that's already broken off. There we go. That's a nice looking pear. There's another one next to it. I think I'll leave that. They're still quite hard, but if you put them in the fruit bowl, they do ripen up quite nicely. There's a nice one. There we go. That came away lovely. So that was probably going to fall off anyway. So again, nice. We've had lots of pears, so a great year for these as well. I think my melon's ready. It doesn't have any smell to it, which normally you wait till the smell happens, but not all varieties do give this off apparently. So I'm gonna take that home and try it. Now something has eaten the bottom of it, but I reckon I can easily cut that off. That's not a bad melon. I think they're called the ananas melon. So I'll take that home with me and try it. There's a couple more at the back, which I'll leave for now. And I've just spotted a little baby one. In fact, there's a few. Will I get some more melons? I don't know. It feels a bit late in the season, but you never know. So I'll try this one. Also, finally got some peppers. They're the black pepper. Interesting. I think there's a green one. Maybe that'll change colour. But I'm also going to harvest a load of these chilies. These are the red cayenne pepper chili. So I'll cut a load of those off and take those home. They've been quite a good success this year. Maybe they like that table. So they've been good. And I think the cucumbers are just coming to an end. There's a few little ones. And there's a funny shaped one. Look at this. Oh, that is a funny looking one. They were the snack cucumbers. They've been a bit funny, but they do taste nice. But they are starting to finish now. Even the cucamelons. Last few of these have been great. These are really fun to grow. They just what's the word? Scramble or climb everywhere, all over here, all over the back. I've had absolutely tons of the old cucamelons. So pretty, lovely little fruit. Tastes like a cucumber, but with a hint of lime. Really, really tasty. Some say even watermelon tastes like, but I think a hint of lime, nice and sweet, but cucumber. The grapes have done pretty well. Some nice bunches there. I'll be picking a few of these and taking them home. They're ready to eat now. I know some of them look a little bit bigger than the others, but these are very, very juicy grapes. In fact, look at this bunch. Look at this bunch here. This is perfect. Let me try and snip that off and do it whilst holding the camera. Oh, there we go. Oh, what a lovely bunch of grapes. Anyone thinks you can't grow grapes in the UK? You absolutely can. So these are the white, seedless Lakemont variety. Absolutely beautiful. Finally, I'm just going to finish on showing you the bananas. The big flower has popped out again. That's 2 years running, and they are the little bananas just behind it. These are inedible because they are the musabaju. You can't eat them, but I do think they're so fun to try to grow and just to see what happens each year. Maybe one year I'll end up getting little yellow ones, but right now they don't really show any signs of ripening, and they probably won't ripen anyway. But it's always a nice big flower to be sent out from a banana tree. Hope you agree. Right, hope you've enjoyed this little video. Just a little update to show you exactly what was the results of the tomato growing competition, whether or not they grew better in the grow bags or the pots, and it is the grow bags. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please take care. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do, and give us one of them big thumbs up. It really does help the channel and the video. So see you on the next one. Bye now.